Hey Grid Squad, welcome to an incredibly overdue video. In this exciting installment of Gridlock goodness, we're taking a trip back to last year's Tugboat Roundup in 2024. We figured we should probably release this video before 2025's roundup begins, in, at this point, a week. But since you're here on this video, stay tuned until the end of this video for not only an important update, but a really cool surprise. So 2024's Tugboat Roundup was very important for two reasons. The first reason being that 2024 marked 25 years of the Tugboat Roundup being held. That is no small accomplishment, especially when you consider every year the amount of coordination that goes into something like this. Not just on the vendor side of things, but the event staff who have to operate the locks and the canals. The boat owners who travel from near and far just to be here. And of course, the tugboat parade itself, which kicks off the event. The parade starts all the way in Albany, with more tugs stationed at specific places joining in as everyone sails down to the harbor in Waterford. In addition, the second reason 2024 was an important Tugboat Roundup was, well, for us at our booth. I believe we actually reached record sales at the event, selling more products and taking in income we had previously never done before. But it's not all about product, of course. 2024 was special because after a few years being a vendor at this booth, we began to see the pendulum swing, where people began to recognize us, where people wanted to see us. More on that later. First, let's go over Friday. I'm happy to say, compared to 2023's crazy and soul-crushing beginning to the event due to the weather, the 2024 roundup went off without a hitch. The booth was ready to go, all of our products were there, and our ride on Tucker arrived safely. I think the most exciting part for me this year was seeing these two tugs together. Bath Jr. and Tug and Teeth look pretty similar to each other, but each have their own unique differences. The reason I thought it was so cool seeing them was because these two have never appeared together before, and more importantly, these two combined were the inspiration for our little Tucker. There would not be a show, a book, or a toy of Tucker had I never seen these tugboats 8 or 9 years ago. That's just insane. Also, something I neglected to point out last time was just how much of a tugboat town Waterford really is. Boat and maritime related things surround this town. From certain roads being called Paddlewheel Court, to the actual street name of the harbor being called Tugboat Alley, this town wears this theme with pride. I want to take a moment to showcase these spray-painted graffiti tugs that are just plastered all over this town, and especially the harbor. Graffiti, that's our vibe, our aesthetic. So every year we always try and see if we can spot new ones. Now let's move on to Saturday, so I can showcase the tugs. There's also a competition every year where people can actually vote for the best tug in show. Such a cute concept. Let's talk Tucker for a second, shall we? 2024 meant a lot to me because this was the year I began to see Tucker is cementing himself as a bit of a local legend at the event and in the town. As people walked by our booth, I overheard people say, "Oh, there's Tucker," and even some teenagers said, "I remember him from last year." But I think what really just made my heart melt was seeing the families come over to the booth. This was the first time I've ever heard random strangers come to our booth and say, "Oh, we come here just for Tucker." Like, 3 families said that. Is that a lot? No, but in our tiny tugboat town, that is a lot, and that means a lot to me. But I think the thing that really made this year unlike all the others were the kids. I don't know what happened, but this year, Tucker popped off. We had lines of kids forming just to see Tucker and take a ride on him. We had parents bring their kids over, and the kids just would not want to leave the boat. So many genuine smiles I saw, and the fact that it was our little character, our little brand, that just meant so much. You know, I'd like to turn our attention to what everyone here calls the mini tugs. Tugboat Roundup brings in a lot of work service tugboats, and these things are massive and are a sight to see. but it also brings in a bunch of recreational tugs. And this year, I think I saw more mini tugs than I ever have. What's great is some of these tugs are kits that you can purchase and build yourself. I remember someone saying they built one as a COVID project. So, have I ever properly shown off the Tucker merch we sell? As of right now, we have our book that we published, along with a coloring book published just in time for 2024's Roundup, with all the art done by Admin J. Bouncing off of that, we also have our pins, our water games, some fancy shirts that come in a variety of sizes, our sailor hats, and of course, our floating Tucker water toys. We walked into 2024's Roundup having only around 35 water toys to sell. We left the Roundup being completely sold out. What a feeling! Hey, would you like to own any of this Tucker merch? Let us know in the comments. As we said in our recent update video, we're thinking of opening an online shop, and we're only going to do that if people are actually interested in purchasing. Now, how could we end such an exciting and wonderful Saturday without the harbor's famous fireworks show? Shall we watch a bit of footage? You know, I don't really know how to describe it, but after such a busy day out in the sun talking to hundreds of people of all ages, working and sharing the good word of Tucker, there is no better feeling than the day slowly winding down to see the harbor become absolutely jam-packed as fireworks light up the sky. All the while, the tugboats all sit there in their water, silent and still, as if they too are watching the festivities. I just can't describe the feeling, but it's magic. Now we'll move on to Sunday. As always, Sundays are a bit slower, but by no means does that imply it's not busy. I decided to leave my post and go on a walk and check out some other vendors, and looky who I found! As the day went on, the people showing up to our booth and just loving Tucker did not cease. Like I said in the previous Roundup video, as an artist you gotta make money, but money is not why we come to this event. We come to be part of the experience, to help visitors be immersed in this tugboat town, and to put smiles on faces through the use of our very own smiling boat. It meant so much that I really saw just how much of an impact this little tug is leaving. I would say this is where the reflection on the Roundup ends, but not quite. You see, Sunday morning, I left Jay all by himself at the booth for about an hour or so. He was elated, I'm sure. And hey, regardless of how he felt about that, I was away on business. You see, I kinda made a purchase. It was kind of a big purchase. A purchase that will forever change our booth, our brand, and our life. I write stories about the life of a tugboat, but as someone who really doesn't go on the water, it almost seems kinda hypocritical. Well, all that's about to change. Gridlock Studios bought a boat. Gridlock now owns a boat. And this isn't an ordinary boat, it's special. What you see here is a modified kayak that, cosmetically and internally, has been modded to be a tugboat. With a new front added, a battery that charges by solar power, and a proper propeller, this is a motorized operational vessel that can move, and yes, pull, like all good tugs can, under its own power. It's painted in a lovely blue, but oh, this tug will be present at 2025's Tugboat Roundup looking a little different than it does right now. I'm sure you can imagine what work we've been doing to this little guy. But that, well, that's for another video. Thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you at the Tugboat Roundup. And if we don't see you there, then we'll see you in our Tugboat Roundup video covering everything.
Sending the baby to go night-night.
Night-night.
There he is. What?
That's our friend.
Yeah. Except he's blue. Why are you blue?
What's the friend?
Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah.